Alrighty. Alrighty, welcome back to Dudes in a Train. This is Ed, I'm Roland, and for this part of the episode, what we're going to talk about is our feeder lines. The ones that we drop down through the track to the underneath. Now this is an 18 gauge solid core wire that I went to the local hardware store. Yeah. And I got phone line. And this is 18 gauge, 50 feet worth of solid core, 5-strand wire. And when you strip it all down, of course you get your wires, you know. But what we're after is the blue and the reds. And for these here, I'm going to use these for the toggle switches that I'm going to use for the spurs that we're going to be talking about in a moment. Now, already got two cut. And so what I'm going to do is obviously measure it out about a foot, you know, cut them off, and that should, by the time you drop it down and to track height, it should give you enough, you know, left over to reach your main line, your main bus line, I'm sorry. So
what do we got left?
So what do we got left, Ed?
Well, we got these two spurs right here, and we've got our, what did you call this?
Oh my God, yes, this is our patent pending feeder line poker. Yeah, I guess I'll call it that. I just took a piece of heavy gauge solid core wire, put a nice little tip on it, and then tell you what,
we'll
test it out there.
We'll test it out right here. So we're going to come in here, right in between two of the ties, nice and close to the track rail,
and come on
and stick it on through.
It's just that easy.
Just that easy. Now, wait a minute. I should stick it back in so I remember where the hole is.
Okay, yeah. Let's get you one of those.
And I got my red. And just that easy, goes right through.
But wait, that's not all. You can do it again.
Do it again.
Now what I like to do is go in at a slight angle, so when you actually do solder the feeder line to the track, it kind of pushes it up against it as you're feeding it in. And then obviously you want to go right up against the track, so you don't have a space, so when you do your solder, you're not trying to jump a gap there. Oh, did we hit something there? Uh-oh, we're going to have to go underneath then. Just go over a little bit. There you go. There you go. Now those lines are going to be fed over to my switchboard, because those are going to have their own, what would you call that, Ed?
Well, just an on-off switch, and why would we want to do that? We want to be able to turn the track power off to just these spurs, in case we're running our little locomotive in and we bring a flat car into the sawmill area, and we can park it here and let it sit for a while. And that way, turning the track power off, the locomotive isn't sitting there chuffing and the light's not running. And so the next step is to actually solder these track feeders in place up onto the rail. And at the same time, we have to look for our joints, and we're going to solder a few of the joints together. We're not going to solder them all because we want to leave some room for track expansion as the temperature changes. So if we look right here, we have a perfect example here. We've got two feeders and we got a joint. So we're going to go ahead and take care of this little area right here.
Alrighty.
So I have my flux, and we got to make sure it is flux for electrical work. There is a difference. They have flux for solder, but we don't want to use that. We're going to use our electrical. So when we solder these, we want to make sure we're on the outside of the rail, and the flux is going to help draw the solder down into this joint. So I'll start with that first. We got our soldering iron here. We're going to just move this out of the way.
Oh, you're going to need to put a little bend in there, don't you think?
Not yet.
Oh, you're doing
Not yet. I'm doing a joint first.
Oh, I'm jumping the gun. Jumping
ahead again. Keep a little warm. Now we want to be mindful of the ties because they are plastic. Soldering iron heat will melt the ties if you're not careful. So
and the foam road bed also.
That's right. So we get some good solder flow, and now let the flux do its job. There it goes. It's pulling it down into the joint just like we want.
Man, that looks pretty.
Don't even know it's there.
Nope, no you don't.
Okay, The first step is complete. Now we're going to address the feeder lines here. And what I like to do is I like to put a little bit of a bend in the end here. Let me straighten this out here first. I'm going to do a little 90 degrees. And then I want it to lay up against the rail. So I'm going to give it just a little bit like that.
A little bend in.
And I will do the same for this one.
Is that going to be enough of a lead for you?
Yeah, it will be. You don't need that much.
Oh,
there we go.
I think you did it. Okay.
You're going to say I did it backwards, weren't you?
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Well,
I was about to.
It doesn't really matter. So we're going to pull it down. Now you see how that fits really nice up in there?
Okay.
That's the idea. So I'm going to get some flux in there.
And then I'll kind of reach underneath and kind of hold it in spot there.
It's a little too much flux. Don't want too much. Alright. Just a touch of flux.
And we'll just lay it right down
right,
in there.
perfect,
Just
perfect.
Like wow.
Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and get it warming up.
There you go. Beautiful.
Okay, that's one.
Nice. Yeah, that rail takes up a lot of heat.
Flux on that end.
Okay.
And a little bit of rotation. There we go.
Right up in there.
Right up in there. So
And we're on.
there we go. Now you hardly see it. And once we lay the ballast in and paint the web of the rail, you won't even see it. It'll just disappear. Now the real test though is, well, we're going to take a rail car.
Alright, take a rail car.
We'll put it on the track. And we'll make sure that it doesn't.
Oh, no.
Oh, we're not lined up there. There we go.
Oh, here we go.
And it rolls right over without a hitch.
Like it wasn't even there. Very nice. Very nice.
And that's one.
Simple.
And we have a lot more to go.
You got a lot.
So that's the next part of the process. And once we get those all in place and soldered into the track, then we'll jump underneath the track and we'll start connecting it to our bus line.
Yeah, and that's a whole spaghetti bowl. Man.
Well, we'll have to keep in mind the reverse loops that we have. And we'll talk about that. So we're going to go ahead and take care of this. It's pretty much the same process that we did here, just repeated. I don't know how many do we have here? About 45?
Oh, good grief, I'd stop counting after 2.
So,
well, let's get started. Alrighty, dude, I think we're looking really nice here, man.
success.
Yeah, I believe so. You know, I think there might be a couple spots here we may have to address with a file, you know. You know, just kind of dress it down a little bit.
A little bit.
But we did run our stock car. And there are no jumps in the tracks or anything. Well, actually we did, but we won't be showing you that. There was only but 2 or 3 hitch ups where a couple of the tracks just didn't quite line up and just needed a little bit of a tweak. Just, you know, if you ever have to do that, what we did was just take a pair of pliers, you know, and just kind of grab the track very gingerly like, and just give it a little tweak to line up the tracks, you know, and then solder it in. So, and that's what we had to do. Like 3 of them?
Just 2 or 3.
Just 2, yeah, 2 or 3 of them. No major big deal. So, but we got it all done. Now comes to coming underneath the spaghetti bowl. Well, I heard you got but a couple of the.
Yeah, I bought a couple.
Bought a couple of them, you know. So yeah, and we talking about a couple. We mean, but just a couple. Well, actually, he got a good deal on it. But it looks like we're going to be using the blue ones, which was what gauge?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, there's so many of them. They're the blue ones. So, but it seems to work out the best because the red ones were too small, and obviously the yellow ones were too big. Maybe for maybe a 12 or 14 American gauge. But this one here seems to be the greatest there. So let me go ahead and grab a handful of them. You know, kind of load up my pockets there. You know,
throw a couple on the floor.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the
okay, and
situated here.
We're gonna go ahead and grab just a regular pair of pliers is what seemed to work the best. All you basically do is just run your wire through, run the feeder wire into one side, and clamp it down, and throw the switch. So, all right, come join us. You know what? I think I might have to get lower for this. Alrighty, so. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So as we can see here, on how we got our main bus line, which is the 16 gauge stranded for the main line that goes over to our bus block underneath the control panel. So we see our feeder lines coming down from the track, and then like I was explaining, you kind of see I got a nice fingernail, but you may want to use like a little flathead screwdriver. Pry it open a little bit. Don't do too much because you will break this in half, which I've already done, but a couple of them. So, and then you just feed it over, you know, clips in there, you know, real nice, real nice. And then we're working with the red one. So what you want to do is you don't, with these, what's so nice about these is that you don't even have to dress the ends or anything. You don't have to cut back the plastic or anything or the rubber sheeting. You just, what I'm going to do is just put a nice 90-degree in it and then just slide it right into the end. Now there's a door or a wall on this side, so you can't come all the way through, making sure that your metal piece compromises all of them at the same time, thus making connections. So let's go ahead and do that. As I can see here, give it a nice good squeeze there. And then what I'll do is I'll give it a little tug. Make sure it's in there. Oh yeah, see that's nice and tight. Oh yeah. So yeah, then you know you got a nice speed there. So what I'm gonna do is put a quick end in on that, a quick 90 degrees. Take this, slide it over. Well, okay, see this is where you gotta kinda help it along there. Throw it underneath there, stick it in. Make sure it's seated properly. And then clamp it down just like that. Give it a good squeeze. Give it a little tug, make sure you have it, and then bring the clamp over to hold it all in spot. And it's just that simple. I mean, these little things are the greatest. You know, they make your work a whole lot easier, a whole lot quicker, and by golly, a whole lot neater. You know, so what I'm actually going to do is just maybe take a piece of either a zip strip or a tie strip, or even maybe even a piece of electrical tape.
Electrical tape?
Yeah, that's getting kind of...
No.
Yeah, let's do it professionally.
I came prepared, don't you?
Well, yeah, you got these little bad boys. Yeah. Yeah, so these are wire holders. I don't know what the official name is, but yeah, it may be strategic spots, maybe one there, maybe one there.
Yep, on this one we'll be fine because it's coming through from here and there. This isn't going to really sag.
No.
But on some of the longer runs, we'll be able to set this up right on the wall here.
Maybe.
And tie it right into place.
Yeah, yeah. Alrighty, so I guess we've got about what 100 more feet worth of track to go. No, we don't. No, we don't have that many feeders. Actually, it was not as much as I thought it was, and it wasn't that bad. So yeah, I think this is actually going to be a pretty quick process. So let's hop up off the ground. So I guess the next step is to concentrate on our reverse loops. We've come to the conclusion is that we actually have a reverse loop and a reverse section. Now, this little junction right in here is our reverse section, which means that this is going to have to be hooked separately with a reverse polarity. And I'm going to play around with the Arduino and a few sensors and whatnot and make that work. Then over here, our main line, our main loop that goes in and out over here is our reverse loop. And that's going to be powered by Arduino again, a couple relays, a couple programs here and there. And next time, or next episode, then we're going to touch a little bit on the Arduino and how I'm making that all work and give you a taste and a little bit of background of that. So how about it, Ed? Anything else that you want to finish up this with?
No, it got late on us.
Yeah, it got late.
Time flies. But, yeah, we did get a lot accomplished. We're almost ready to run a train once we get your reversing section squared away with your Arduino setup.
Yeah.
And powered up. We'll be able to run a train all the way around.
Oh my God, and I can't wait. You know, and
I thought
the wiring would be a little bit of a mess down there, but it's coming all together. It's starting to really make sense. You know, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But yeah, then I've still got the control panel. You know, all the switches. Got 9 switches to hook up. You know, so yeah, it ain't over yet. Holy cow, electrical! It ain't over yet.
And a few turnouts to wire in. The ones we can't reach are going to be wired with switch motors.
We got one over here, you know, and then the one inside the tunnel that's going to be worked off of a basic switch, I believe. And oh no, wait a minute. No, I have to run that through the Arduino. I got to run that through the Arduino too, but it's just going to be a toggle switch that I'm going to do. Very simple program, nothing too extravagant, you know, because I'm not a programmer. I'm far from it. You know, I'm dabbling in Arduino, so I'm happy for comments and new programs and stuff that can help me along with this. So, but until next time, thank you for watching. Ed, Roland here, and for Dudes in a Train. And until next time, don't forget to subscribe. You know, don't forget to hit that like button, and please give those comments out and support your local hobby shop. So until next time, 2 Dudes in a Train, Ed and Roland here.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.